So what does it take to sell almost $1 million on Walmart with dropshipping? Well, today I'm sitting down with my buddy Tyler, and he's going to explain to us how he's been dropshipping on Walmart and a lot of the challenges he's faced with it. So Tyler, how are you? How you been?
Been doing well. Just same old with the drop shipping, kind of letting my team run my business, trying to figure out also new ways to make money. Getting into a little bit of Amazon wholesale using a third party for that, and yeah, just been grinding, I guess.
Awesome. So we're definitely going to dive into a lot of that stuff. But for those of the viewers at home that don't know who you are, can we kind of go back and you kind of explain to everyone how you got into all this world of making money online?
Yeah, for sure. And it's actually, it's crazy we're here today because, we were in the same boat with how we started, right? I found this course on this site called Udemy. It was, it's been so long. It was David Vu, right? That's the guy's name that started the course. And it was all about how to make money from home with eBay dropshipping. And it was $10 for me to buy the course. I think prices on Udemy have gone up since then, but it was such a good deal. And a lot of times you don't buy courses because they're so expensive and you're not going to finish them. This one, it was $10, and I was like, all right, if I don't do anything with it, whatever, but I'll buy it, check it out, see if this is real or not. And I actually knew somebody who was doing drop shipping as well at the time. I hadn't spoken to them yet before I bought this course. But I knew someone, his name, obviously Matt Gambrell, you know who he is, longtime friend of mine, from basically when I was 12 years old playing basketball together. He had gone off from being a waiter at a restaurant to basically making a ton of money on Amazon, had clients doing it as well. And I kind of heard about it, but then I researched it on my own, found this course and took the course, got really involved in the community, which I think was probably the most important aspect of my longevity in this, is the fact that I met so many people from the David Vu course who created YouTube channels, created blogs. I know that was your first thing, is I remember reading your blog 3.5 years ago when you were first doing this. And when I started reading your blog and I started answering more questions and asking more questions in the forum on the Udemy course, because that's what you were doing too, right? You were getting your name out there, you were learning by asking questions, and that's what I was doing too. And then also, I feel like when you're teaching people, you are more motivated to learn as well, and you start just doing your own research more and are more motivated to really help people, and it helps yourself too. So that's kind of what I was doing in the forum, was answering questions constantly, posting my results, and just getting a lot of positive feedback and encouragement from that David Vu community. Unfortunately though, the thing that was kind of the most disappointing about that whole experience was, as soon as I feel like you and I dove all in on that eBay dropshipping, they stopped doing the meetups, they stopped doing all of that stuff. David Vu was off doing Airbnb at that point, didn't update the course, whatever. But it was good enough for me to get started. And it's as soon as I started watching the videos and then implementing step by step what was happening in the videos and whatever, it kept me motivated to watch the entire course. That was a really good aspect of that too, was first you set up your eBay account, second you list your item, third this. So it gives you actionable steps along the way, which again is probably one of the more important aspects of how I actually finished the course. And within 2 to 3 days, maybe even sooner than that, maybe 1 to 2 days, 24, 48 hours, I made my first sale. And I remember it was a salt lamp from Bed Bath & Beyond. And I think I only made 25, 50 cents because I was just trying to get a sale. But I knew that if I was able to make, even a quarter, 2 quarters, whatever, off of this item this quickly, that is, if you can scale this business and you can do that, 500 times a day, you're making a few $100s a day. So it's that was my whole motivation, was to grow the store as much as possible And eventually I got to the point where, you're making more than that per item. You start to understand like how to get rewards on the back end and how to use coupons and how to gift cards, whatever, all that stuff. And I hired my first VA in like my second month, and I was able to quit my job after 6 months. I had a listing team that was constantly listing items, and then I had like customer service people. Everything started to become more passive. It started to feel more like, a 4-hour work week type of situation. And that's kind of the approach that I've taken, since that time, since probably like month 6, 7, was to figure out how to do as little work myself as possible, but still be like efficient and grow the business, if that makes sense. And every time, I'm on a new platform or anytime something changes, I'm right there, in there learning and working for the first little bit until I figure it out, make a couple videos for the virtual assistants. They do everything that I tell them to do, and then I move on to the next thing. And that's kind of how you need to approach this business if you want to scale it, and also have that like passive income feeling.
So ever since you were able to do that with eBay, you've gone on to do other things after that, right? Because of that?
Correct. So I basically, like, after 4 or 5 months in on eBay, I got started on Amazon, and I was slowly growing the Amazon business. And I ended up getting a suspension on Amazon pretty early on. Actually, like right after I quit my job, I got a suspension on Amazon. It was not really that big of a deal. I was able to get the account back within a week, and it was pretty much smooth sailing up until probably like 6-7 months ago on Amazon from that period. So for a 3-year period, Amazon really didn't bother me at all with the dropshipping stuff. And I did get like a warning, but the warning wasn't really that like big of an issue. And then I got one suspension, like I said, I think it was like 7 months ago. I got the suspension. And then from there, I haven't really been dropshipping on Amazon at all, because I've wanted to keep my account kind of clean for when I do get products in there for the wholesale that I'm trying to do. And I feel like that's like the smarter route on Amazon. With eBay, obviously, I still think dropshipping's fine. I do know people that have gotten their accounts suspended over periods of time, and like I got my account suspended, that maybe like 1.5 years, 2 years after I started eBay. And I never really went back to the platform after that, because I just didn't want to go through the hassle of setting up new LLCs, like having an account under like Haley's name or, my parents' name, whatever. I just figured I would focus on other things. Although I do know that eBay is still very lucrative, and I'm not sure if you remember the business partner I had, Anthony.
Yeah.
He is still on eBay doing the same Sale Freaks method, and he's like absolutely crushing it still. Mm-hmm. And part of the reason is I feel like he told me that they took the dropshipping flags off of eBay, which towards the end of my eBay dropshipping career, I feel like you were very limited in what you could do on an account that had software on it and whatnot. So I feel like they've changed the platform a little bit, and it's kind of brought it back. So I definitely think it would have been beneficial for me to continue to run eBay, but at the same time, I'm glad I moved on and like kind of focused more on the Amazon. And then now my recent focus has been the Walmart dropshipping. So I wish I had gotten started on Walmart dropshipping like 2 years ago, because the first 3 months that I was on Walmart was just insane. I had very few items, like a few thousand, which is a few items for me. I know someone listening to this that has 100 items on eBay is probably like, whoa, a few thousand. At peak, I had 55,000 on Walmart at peak.
Wow.
But the thing is with Walmart is every single month, basically, you can see kind of a downtrend in how effective these products are. Like, how, like maybe on 5,000 items, I had a day in the fourth quarter where I did $20,000 in sales, right? Like, I'm not doing that anymore on the amount of items I have because of the method I use. I know people that are doing those kind of numbers with less items, but they're doing like a very different style of drop shipping than I want to do. But again, like it is something I could learn and then teach my VAs. It's more of like a manual type drop shipping, like with eBay. Myself personally, I just go through, I basically just copy other stores that are big stores, take their items. All of them are from the same retailer, Amazon, obviously. And I have software that pretty much runs everything with that, kind of like how Sale Freaks did with eBay. But that's how I've been running that Walmart business, and it's been my sole basically income for the past 6-7 months.
So I know I've been getting a lot of questions about Walmart dropshipping, and I don't do it myself, or I'm going to talk about why that is and kind of ask your advice on that in a few minutes. But for those people who don't know like what Walmart dropshipping is, can you just kind of like explain it like real quickly? Like explain, are you doing wholesale? Are you doing retail? I know you kind of touched on that, and just kind of how the process works.
Yeah, I'm doing retail, which obviously is against the terms of service on all these sites. But I feel like as long as you're doing it in a way that is kind of, it works well with the customer and the customers don't complain and all that, as long as you're doing it in a way that isn't hurting people, they kind of turn a blind eye. And there actually have been a wave of suspensions on Walmart recently due to basically valid tracking and using, Amazon, like Blue Care Logistics and all of that. Basically, Walmart doesn't want that. Walmart doesn't want people seeing that an item is coming from Amazon. So that's like an issue they have, where if you have a way around that, which there are ways around that, which I don't want to get too into depth on in this video. This isn't really like a strategy video, I guess, but there are ways around that, and people are doing that, and people are perfectly fine. They don't get suspensions and they don't get warnings, anything like that, as long as their valid tracking rate stays up. So yeah, they don't necessarily love dropshippers, but they are kind of like allowing it on their platform, because if you think about it, I mean, it is a huge revenue stream for them to be able to have all these people put these private label products from Amazon onto the Walmart platform, when their like Walmart fulfillment isn't really up to speed yet to handle a bunch of new private label sellers sending in stuff, kind of like how Amazon handles it in their warehouse. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about dropshipping on Walmart and how they treat it.
So it seems kind of like simple, just like other type of retail dropshipping, right? You list it up on Walmart. When it sells, you buy it from Amazon, Amazon ships it to the customer. So why aren't more people doing Walmart dropshipping? Yeah,
so there's kind of some limitations. The first one being that sometimes it is hard to get an account on Walmart, and you get denied for months and months. I've heard recently they have gotten better about it. My most recent account that I made, I did get a second account, and I used a service to get the account. So I, paid someone to basically fill out the application, and paid someone to make a e-commerce website for me, and that looks like I'm a legit Shopify store, and that helps with the process as well, like having all the ducks in a row with that, like making you look more professional. So they also have a special, and I don't know too much about it, which is why I pay them. And these people have figured this out just because they've made so many accounts for people, but they have a special like way and process to do it, rather than just going directly through what a normal person would go through to create the application on Walmart. So there's like a back door basically to how you can speed up and expedite the process, which is like, once you figure something like that out, like, like a trade secret type of thing, you can pay, you can charge people for it, right? As long as it stays a secret, like they're going to make money off of it, which is kind of, I've accepted that. And I was just like, okay, I'll pay you and I'll get the account quicker than, I don't want to sit there and apply and everything and then get denied. Because obviously when you make a new LLC, there's cost with that, where you have to pay for filing in the state. Like I paid a company to create the LLC for me, all that. So I didn't want to waste that money and get denied from Walmart and then like have to go through that whole process again with another LLC. So that's one of the issues, is the fact that people get denied because they just don't know how to fill out the application, or they don't have all the things correctly done with the website, etc. Then the other limitation is kind of like Amazon, where, you know, Amazon pays you every 2 weeks, right? Walmart's the same way. They're on a payment schedule. So you do a bunch of sales, you got a bunch of credit card, you have credit card limits, and you reach those credit card limits before you get paid. You know, you have to like stop selling basically, or find a way to get more credit. And then on top of that, which is something I actually ran into when I first started Walmart, because it was so good and I was making so many sales, I was making a lot of money, and like I just wanted to go as fast as I could with getting these orders, or getting my sales up as much as I could. And they put a 21-day hold on my payments. So it was 2 weeks plus 21 days. And I feel like it was even more than that on a lot of the, like, I don't know how they actually calculate this 21-day hold period, because they had so much money of mine in the accounts for basically a 2-month period. I got paid probably 30% of what I thought I should get paid every single pay period. And then at the end, I got like one jumbo payment once they took the 21-day hold off of this account. And in that time period, that was actually the first time in my dropshipping career that I actually had to carry a credit card balance, because I thought basically my cash flow was going to be X, right? And then it ended up being Z, like, because they basically were paying me 30%. So I loaded up the Amex Plum card and just went as hard as I could with that. And I paid off as much as I could, right? But I mean, Walmart was carrying 6 figures of balance every single pay period of mine that they owed me. And at that point, I had to kind of work out with Amex, and like I've probably spent like $10 million in Amex over the past 3.5-4 years of dropshipping. So the fact that this was the first time they kind of worked with me a little bit, and you know, they basically took off some of the interest payments and some of the whatever, and we're like, all right, like, we understand that, you know, you've done a lot of business with us, this is an anomaly, this shouldn't happen again, etc. So that can be, you know, stressful for somebody if they don't understand that those are risk with the business. And it kind of takes a special individual to sell on Walmart, in terms of you need like a high risk tolerance, or you need to go into it understanding that you're going to limit yourself for the first few months to build up that risk tolerance, or at least get comfortable with what the platform's capable of doing to you. So yeah, that's one thing. The other thing with dropshipping on Walmart, the back-end platform is like very archaic. Have you actually been into the Seller Central of Walmart at all?
No, but I've watched videos of it. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a lot of issues. Like, you can't actually delete items out of your Walmart store. What you can do is retire them. And even when you like retire an item and, you know, you set the inventory to 0, somehow it still gets sales. Like nobody knows how, like, why this anomaly happens, but sometimes it still gets sales. Even when a store gets suspended on Walmart, there's still like a 24-hour period where people are getting sales on a suspended store. So not only are they like suspended where they can't get their money out, they're getting even more sales that they need to fulfill those orders, so that Walmart doesn't like think you're just canceling all these orders. And then you have even more money locked up than you originally would, like another day or two worth of sales. So there's like a lot of issues with Walmart's platform, a lot of issues with the API, where like it constantly is like disconnecting. And the software I use for auto ordering, sometimes you'll see that orders are like 6 to 8 hours behind of what they should be. Like you'll see it's 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. here, for example. You'll see you haven't had an order come in at noon, yet you know you get like 300 orders a day, so that's impossible. And then what happens is all of the orders come back through at once Walmart's system updates and sends the orders through. And then your auto order platform, and if you're using like VAs, then this could be a disaster too, because sometimes they don't even show up in Walmart except for all at once. Now they're having to go back and they're having to quickly work through these orders when they could have done them as they came in. Instead, now they have this huge backlog of orders. So that's another problem, is like there's just these random glitches in the Walmart system. And then with listing products, before I started using a third-party lister that connected through the API. I was having my VAs go in and manually list the products in Walmart and then put it in the repricing software, like having those product ID numbers, all that, etc., connected so that it could reprice the items. So you manually put it in, and then you have to go manually enter the information into the repricing software. Anyway, what happened was we found out that you could only have one person working on listings at a time, or if you try to create listings like at the same time or around the same time and have multiple people working, the listings just won't even list. So you can only have one person with the way the software works or whatever, the coding and however they do it. You can only have one person listing at a time, which slows down so much the growth potential of the store, obviously, especially when you're doing like a bulk strategy like myself. So now I use a third-party lister and I can have as many people working as I want. All the listings get through. There's there's also a lot of weird things when you list a product manually on Walmart, where it basically tells you you're like missing information for the product to be able to list. But like the thing is the listing's already created on Walmart. Basically, you should be able to do it like Amazon, where you just say sell this product, put your inventory in, create a SKU, boom, you're good to go. Here, it's like asking you to update like product details and stuff for the page, even though they don't actually update on the page. Like it's very strange. So there's like I said, I'm trying to reiterate, the fact that there's like all these glitches in the Walmart system, which is a huge issue. The other thing with Walmart is the lost after delivery and lost in transit customer claims. And have you heard about any of the issues with this?
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of difficulties with returns as well. Just all that isn't quite like ironed out in the way it should be for third-party sellers.
Yeah, so with the lost after delivery, lost in transit, basically with Amazon, right, or eBay, they open up a claim. The buyer opens up a claim. You can respond to that claim, and you can like before the refund even occurs or whatever. So A to Z claim on Walmart. God, it's been so long since I've sold on eBay. What's it called on eBay when they open up a claim?
Like an item not received case?
Yeah, like an item not received case. I guess they just call them cases With eBay, you can respond to that, and then you can call customer support or seller support, right? Especially if you have the big store on eBay, you call that support. They help you out, right? Like you could get it settled right away. You could win the case in your favor. With the A to Z claim, you upload evidence. As long as the tracking number is valid, all that, like you'll win that case as well most of the time. And if you don't, you can appeal it, whatever, again. And a lot of times, we don't really lose money on A to Z claims. We usually get a refund from like the retailer, or Amazon, gives us the win on the claim. With Walmart, customer opens up a lost in transit or lost after delivery. Walmart customer service will literally refund them without ever contacting you and telling you, hey, this customer thinks that the item got lost after delivery, or hey, this, like, even though the tracking is like valid, right? And it shows delivered, they go ahead and refund them, and they basically act as your customer service. And when I say like they act as your customer service, really they're just giving away your money to the customers, because it doesn't hurt Walmart at all. The fact that, a customer loses an item from you or claims they did, and then they take your money that you would have been paid and pay the customer. For a brief period of time, Walmart was actually covering these for sellers as long as the item was, showing delivered. So Walmart would eat the amount. And that's great, because that obviously saved us a lot of money. And before they did that, you could actually appeal and win a lot of these cases. Now they've updated their terms of service with sellers, and they mentioned something like on this latest like newsletter or whatever they sent out talking about this. They mentioned something about how, like, because industry standards, blah, 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 like now the seller will be responsible for the lost after delivery, lost in transits. What happens now is you have to go and you have to appeal these afterwards, kind of like, how it was before. But now they're just denying the appeal. I think I've gotten maybe 10% through or something. And like, they basically want proof of a signature, which obviously if you're drop shipping from a retailer, you're not going to get a signature. 2, they want proof the item was like a picture of the item being delivered. The only company that like does that is Amazon Logistics. There's like UPS, all those places do not take a picture when an item is delivered. So there's that. And then also, like, a lot of times there isn't a picture, and the software I use to do the auto ordering, I actually use managed accounts. I don't even have access to the pictures, so I can't submit that either. And then the third thing you can do is you can try to get the customer to admit in a message with them that they received the item, and then you can actually take a screenshot of that and give it to customer support. If you don't have one of those 3 things, then it's going to be very hard for you to win these appeals nowadays. And I'm sure there's people that have figured out ways to improve their win rate on these, but for me, I just let them happen now. I'm just like, okay, this is a cost of doing business. Like I'm losing money on this. And I actually have some, I pulled up some data from my personal account on these lost after delivery, lost in transit, just to see how much money is actually lost. So I had 316, this is the last 6 months. I had 316 lost after deliveries / lost in transits, which equaled $9,100 in products. So basically, yeah, not $9,100 in product cost, but $9,100 in sales actually. So the average sale was around $28. So for me, I have like typically a 1.3 markup on my products. So that's basically $7,000 of product cost that I've lost in the last 6 months. And that's on around $900,000 in sales for the last 6 months. So basically you could say that, 1% of your overall sales are probably just going to be lost after delivery, lost in transit, which at this point, like for me, like I said, it's a cost of doing business. 1% is basically just, okay, raise your margin by 1% if you really care that much. But it's a problem once your store gets targeted, because I have heard of people with way higher percentages than this losing, thousands of dollars every month, because I guess the same people are ordering and the same scammers are targeting specific people and just doing this constantly, knowing that they're going to win these cases. And I kind of blame Walmart for a lot of this personally, just because they have such a customer friendly policy with refunding like my money to customers, which, yeah, if they want longevity with sellers and they want to create like, an Amazon type of platform, they're going to have to do something different, because that's the reasons. And even sellers hate Amazon personally, like I think with a lot of stuff, but in terms of these cases and all that, Amazon is easier to work with than Walmart, for example.
Yeah, but it sounds like it's worth it for you based on the sales volume and the margins in there.
Yeah, the margins were actually, like I said, better when I first started, and the sales were better. It's been kind of diminishing as time has gone on and more sellers have come in. The way that, you counter that is obviously by changing your strategy, or by just listing more products, figuring out ways to reduce overhead, or, economies of scale, like working out deals with software. The more listings you have, the cheaper it is per listing. Like things like that are really going to help you in terms of growing your store and being able to sustain being a seller. But yeah, like the margins, all that, you're making money. So that's the important thing. As long as you're making money, it's worth doing.
Yeah, I can see that. And a lot of these challenges you talk about, they seem like big challenges, but we've had challenges on Amazon, we've seen them on eBay. And I think from my experience on those platforms in the beginning, the challenges aren't as great. There's obviously hurdles you have to get over to get started, but bigger store, bigger problems, so to speak, right?
Agreed 100%. And now that you bring that up as well, it's easier to kind of avoid, just because it's a numbers game when it comes to these IP complaints, things like that. The more items you have, the more likely it is you're going to get these IP complaints. You're basically playing with fire, but that's again a cost of doing business. Like you just have to look at it as, okay, I paid $5,000 for this mistake I made, but I made all this other money in the meantime because I had all these items. So yeah, the bigger your store, the more IP complaints you're going to have, the more issues Walmart might have with you in terms of they see a high number of these IP complaints. And if you're a small store, you just get one every month, whatever. To be honest, I was probably getting one or two a day at peak. Now And part of the issue with that is it's such a new platform for the dropshipping community. Yeah, there's people who have been doing it for a couple years, kind of just like trying to hide it, that it was so good from everybody else, I feel like, so they're not talking about it. But because it's so new for like the dropshipping community as a whole, and the fact that all these softwares too now are trying to develop software around the Walmart platform because they know there is all this interest in it, there hasn't been any like list of do not list brands, do not list products, whatever, on Walmart. Now you could use the ones from Amazon, obviously, and I'm sure they kind of work hand in hand across platforms, where if 3M is looking for sellers on Amazon that they are going to contact for IP complaints, they're going to be looking on Walmart and eBay as well. So you could use that, but obviously there's just a lot of when you're listing as many products as I'm listing, there's a big chance you run into these sellers or these brands, and they'll send you letters in the mail, they'll send you letters to your email, whatever. So yeah, there's that. And now I have a list of brands that I'm not going to list anymore, and I've also told the companies representing these brands, hey, like, here's my personal information, reach out to me. I did everything I could with the software to block these items from being listed again. Like, I told my employees to not list these items, but if it happens again, just contact me and we'll take them down immediately. It's just a mistake. And so as as like that stuff grows with the do not list and the blacklisting of the items, etc., I feel like I'll get less of those IP complaints.
Yeah, I should hope so.
Yeah.
So I know people are going to be wondering at home, because I did allude to it before, but the problem I had was that I did try to sign up for Walmart and was denied, and I did appeal and just never heard back. Do you think that most people are going to face that same problem? And I guess the bigger question is, do you think most people could dropship on Walmart? Do you think that's like attainable for most people?
So to answer your first question, when it comes to actually making accounts on Walmart, I'm not an expert. Like, I'll straight up say, like, that is not something that I know the details of, like, why things don't get accepted and why things do get accepted. I know that I've seen people apply and heard other people apply and get accepted or denied. And I know the things I touched on before is you need to have that legit looking website. You don't even need a site with products per se. You need just like a site that like represents your company and kind of describes what you do. Because obviously if you're just like wholesaling products, whatever, and you don't even have your own e-commerce site, at least you have like a site set up that shows you're a legit company and like contact information and like all that just confirms with whatever your application says on Walmart. Then the other thing is like having like a registered DUNS number. That's requirement now, like making it look like you have like a legit business location registered and all that. You have to have an LLC. Also, like when you did yours, did you put a link to your Amazon account for reference of like, these are the other platforms I sell on?
Yeah.
So I didn't do that for mine because I've read that if you don't have like at least like a 95% feedback rating, that it actually hurts your chances of getting on an application. So with dropshipping, it's hard to get like, I think I was at around 80% when I stopped dropshipping. So it's hard to get a high rating on Amazon when you're a dropshipper.
Yeah, I was definitely I'm pretty sure I was under 95% around that time.
Yeah, so like that's one thing I didn't do. Just, you want to also make sure that like if you do have a site with products, this is actually something I just ran into when I had that person create the site for me. You don't want to put any like big name brands like Apple or whatever on there that you have to have like a legit contract in place. Because what just happened was Walmart contacted me saying, hey, we saw this on your site that you sell Apple and OtterBox. We need those documents that show that you're, a retailer. And I mean, the person I contacted to make the site, I had to contact them again and be like, dude, you need to take all of these off. Like, take off all of these big brands. We don't need these on here. Like, this is just hurting my chances of getting accepted, etc. So you need to be careful of like little things like that, because Walmart's going to ask if you have what they call a high risk brand that is going to like maybe sue Walmart for letting you list it or whatever. If they don't do the proper checks, they're going to ask for all your documentation before they even let you be a seller, if you even like seem like you're going to sell those products. Obviously I don't have any Apple or anything like that listed on Walmart or Amazon or whatever when I was selling on Amazon, but the fact it was on like my e-commerce site Yeah, it's a huge red flag. So just things like that. I would say just make sure you have everything in line, like ready to go before you start your application if you're gonna try it yourself. The next best step is just hire somebody to do it for you, and like make sure that the company that is doing it for you has some sort of agreement where if they don't get the account open, then you only owe them for the time they spent to work on the application. Because obviously like it shouldn't just be for free, right? Like, but I think like, if it's $2,000 to get the account open, for example, pay them like a couple $100 if everything doesn't work out and you don't get the account, and then try again with another one. But for me, it was weird. I maybe got lucky when I applied. I think Walmart was really trying to get a lot of sellers in at the fourth quarter of last year. Mm-hmm. So I got accepted after like 3 days and just started listing products and was good to go. I'm not sure, when did you try to apply?
I don't remember at this point. It was definitely last year in 2020. I think it was during the summer.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So that might be the reason. Like, I don't know. Like, it seems like you could have won an appeal, but I applied in early November. So I don't know. Very interesting.
Well, the past year, my time frame's all off. It could have been 4 months ago for all I know.
No, I know what you mean.
So let's stop talking about dropshipping for a while. What else have you been up to? I know you're always trying new things, as an entrepreneur. So what else have you been up to?
Obviously, that I was traveling and playing a lot of poker. The pandemic kind of slowed that down a lot. I had a really good 2019 with poker and had all my biggest scores I've ever had basically in 2019. Summer of 2020, I did coming fourth in like a World Series of Poker online event. But outside of that, I didn't really play much poker. That is like my passion, is poker. I've been playing it my whole life. And then this year now, I decided, like most recently, I wanted to get into streaming and do a lot of Twitch streaming with poker, and kind of try to become, there's already so many established influencers in poker, but I think it'd be really cool to be able to like vlog my trips and like my experiences as I go to them. And especially like when I had that huge score in August of 2019, I actually was going to bring a camera and like vlog that whole trip. And then after I won, I was like, God, why didn't I do this? Like, it would have been so cool to post a video like with the title of, I won 120,000 playing poker or something, like, So I want to like vlog, I want to Twitch stream, I want to kind of become more of like an influencer in the poker space. I've been Twitch streaming every single night actually for the past like 2 weeks. Haley hates it, obviously, because it takes up a lot of time. Especially when I'm just like on a camera and a mic for like 8-9 hours straight. At peak, I think my best stream so far, I had like 14 people watching simultaneously, which is cool. Like, it's a good start, right? And then the other day I had 110 unique viewers during the whole like 8-hour period that I was streaming. So I feel like I'm making progress. You know how it is with YouTube and whatever. Like, you really just gotta get in there and act like you're, big time to start, and fake it till you make it. And then eventually, as people start to come in and like start to follow, subscribe, whatever, you really have made it at some point. But you just kind of have to keep telling yourself like, hey, as long as I'm having fun with it, like, I don't mind just grinding it out for a bit. So yeah, there's that.
So are you going to become more active on YouTube, and what are you going to be posting there if you are?
So yeah, on YouTube, I've gone back and forth for like a year on my channel. It was Dropship Tyler, obviously. Now I changed it to Tyler's Take because I thought it was like a cool like sounding channel, but also could be broad rather than just drop shipping specific. Because I feel like the thing is, like we just talked about with Walmart, it kind of takes like a unique individual to want to do it, and like with the risk tolerance and all that, and like having the credit lines. There's not going to be that much demand for, content on Walmart dropshipping. I feel like it's going to be a very small, specific niche of people within this small, specific niche of retail dropshipping. So the pie is not that big. So I haven't really wanted to talk about Walmart dropshipping at all on my channel. I just kind of haven't really, found a direction of how I want to take things with that and specifically, which is why now like I have like a poker YouTube channel. It's not, I just started it, and I just have one video up. Basically, I just review my hand histories from when I play online and try to, teach people like how to think about poker and like how I'm playing And it's pretty cool because when you play online, there's actually a software that captures all of your hands that you play, like during the tournament. So you can go through and rewatch like every single hand of the tournament and explain, you know, like why you did this play here, etc. So yeah, that channel, Tyler Phillips Poker, really small, obviously now, like I said, one video, but hopefully in the future, I felt like it was going to be a good combination with the Twitch streaming to have something like where people can go watch and learn.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll have all that linked up down below, your Twitch, your YouTube channel, your Instagram.
Yeah, I'm not that active on Instagram, but
okay. It's a good way for people to DM you.
That's true. I do answer DMs. I do answer DMs on Instagram. I don't post, but I do answer DMs.
Cool. Anything else you want linked up down below? Anywhere else people can reach you, or they want to find out more about you?
No, but honestly, yeah, feel free to contact me on any of these platforms, comment on anything. I try to do my best to respond. I always get around to it. And if I don't respond and you double comment and be like, you didn't even respond to me, I'll then respond to you, don't worry. So just keep trying to reach me until you get me, and I will answer your Walmart dropshipping questions, your poker questions, whatever.
All right,
don't ask me about crypto though. That's a sensitive subject.
Yeah, talk about risk taking for sure.
Yeah,
do you want to explain like real quick what you've done with that while you brought
crypto?
that up? Yeah.
All right, yeah. So basically, I have a video on my YouTube as well on that. That might be like my last or second to last video I posted. Basically talking about how I went all in on Bitcoin, and not just Bitcoin specifically. Like Bitcoin's the majority of my holdings, but I, you know, a few altcoins as well, Ethereum, Cardano, etc. Just the bigger altcoins. And I went basically all in once Bitcoin was around 54,000, thinking that, you know, when it dropped from 65, I was like, oh, sweet, this is my opportunity to get in. Like, and yeah, I went all in, and I think it's around 35 now. So you can only imagine how much I'm down. And that's just Bitcoin specifically. The altcoins actually go down more than Bitcoin goes down during these drops. So if I had just invested in Bitcoin, it wouldn't be that bad, but I would say I'm down probably 50% overall, which was a lot of money. But Paul and I were just talking about this before we came on. Like, it's one of those things you just gotta keep buying into, and long run, the technology is there for it to go up, in my opinion. This is not financial advice, by the way. We have to say that before. So I think the technology is there. I'm good to go just to keep holding. And yeah, the one thing I will say that has kind of like eased my pain a little bit from crypto is the housing market. I bought this house like 2.5 years ago. I mean, it's up like 30%, something like that, in just 2.5-3 years. So that's if I didn't have the house and I had just put every single thing into crypto I had, then I'd probably be really sad right now. But,
all right. Well, thanks, Tyler, for your time. Really appreciate it. Again, links to YouTube channel, Twitch, Instagram will be down below if you guys want to reach out, have any questions for him. If you guys enjoyed the interview, make sure to give the video a big thumbs up, and let us know in the comment section if you want Tyler to come back on. Maybe we'll ask him more questions, and let us know what you want us to ask him about specifically, and maybe I'll make him come back. So thanks again, Tyler. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on, Paul.